What's up? Welcome to this week's Invisible Walls. I'm Shane Satterfield, editor-in-chief of the site, and I am back. Anyway, Invisible Walls is back. We apologize. Last week we did not put out a show, and that's because we were moving into brand new offices. Yeah, we had some graffiti artists come in. They painted some really cool game-related stuff. I think the guys were from the I Am 8-Bit studio, right?
I think a lot of them were in I Am 8-Bit in the Studio 88 or something like that, that art studio.
They did a really, really awesome job, and definitely totally psyched about our brand new digs. Much bigger. We got 4 arcade machines in here, which is pretty sweet. I got into some Centipede last night, which I hadn't played in probably 14 years, and actually enjoyed it a lot. So anyway, we're in our new digs. That's why we didn't have a show last week, and sadly, we're not going to have a show next week either, because we will be at E3 busting our humps to bring you guys all the hot stuff. So anyway, this is our pre-E3 episode of Invisible Walls. We're going to run through each of the big 3 real quickly, talk about their strengths and weaknesses, what we hope to see, what we're afraid we'll see, that type of thing. Also want to say that tomorrow night on Game Trailers TV, it's really our first E3 episode. We have a ton of exclusives. The biggest being Gears of War 2. We have pretty much the entire episode built around Gears of War 2. All kinds of details unfurled in that episode for that game, which is pretty sweet. Also have exclusive trailers for Rock Band 2, Fallout 3, some new stuff from Flower, a new trailer from Dead Space, new trailer from Dawn of War 2, and best of all, there's a special secret surprise from BioWare that's going to be in the show. And I can't tell you what it is. BioWare asked us to not promo exactly what it is that we're going to be showing, but it's definitely worth it. You guys should definitely check it out. So tomorrow night on Spike TV at 1 a.m., unless you have DirecTV, and you can watch that sucker at 10 p.m. Anyway, upwards and onwards with our E3 show. Let's talk about Nintendo. Obviously, it's the biggest X factor from the whole show. They haven't announced squat for even the rest of this year, really. I mean, we have Mario Super Sluggers or whatever this is.
Yeah, I think they just put out a press release giving us like 4 games as a bone after like a 3-month drought.
What were the 4? Well, there was Wario, Shake It, or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, the Wario Shake It, the Mario Super Sluggers, some DS mystery game, and I forget what the 4th one was.
Was there a Kirby DS game?
Oh yeah, the remake of Kirby Superstar. I mean, Wario we know can go either way. Sometimes it's a really great game, and sometimes it's like, okay, whatever.
Did they say who's developing?
I don't think so.
I loved the GBA Wario platformers. I thought they were great.
Yeah.
But then Wario for the GameCube was terrible. So it's just kind of up and down. Hopefully they can nail this one. But this is like 2.5D. Like Wario for the GameCube was 3D, and I think that's probably where they made their mistakes. So,
but let's have fun with speculation.
Yeah, speculation's always fun. What do you guys think we're going to see there?
I think the rumors that I heard.
Exactly.
The rumors are like the same old rumors, basically.
Let me guess, Kid Icarus again.
Kid Icarus and in like a new IP, maybe.
Let me guess, Capcom's making it from the old Dead Phoenix engine.
Yeah, I would hope not. I think Factor 5 is supposed to be working on something. Maybe that's related to Kid Icarus. It wouldn't actually be the best idea. I don't know. But
let's put him in space and give him vehicle controls.
He'll be fine. And give him some wingmen.
Other than that, we'll probably see Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much a safe bet. I think, inevitably, though, it's Nintendo's E3 to lose, right? Because we know nothing.
Yeah.
So, no matter what, they're probably going to give us the biggest surprise.
Yeah, I would say so.
It also, I mean, if you look at it, Nintendo hasn't really told us anything about the future of the Wii, or anybody the future of the Wii, yet people still keep buying it. So, is that a testament to not really giving up any information, or is it just the Wii such an anomaly that whatever happens with it doesn't even matter in the big scheme of things anymore? I mean, seriously.
We've gone to a couple of their events recently, and they've been kind of bullshit,
Yeah, they were bullshit. The last one I went to, like, the big game was Mario Sluggers.
And, like, I know we've talked about this a lot in the past, but again, Mario Kart, trickle of information, then it launched.
Yeah.
Sold, what was the
It's
second best-selling game
yeah.
in the NDP for 2 months in a row, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's up over 1.5 million sold in the U.S. already. They didn't really need a whole lot of information about that. I think they just need to know it's coming, and they just buy it sight unseen for the most part. But, I mean, I'd love to see a new Pikmin.
Oh, yeah, and I think
wonder if they'll
Wii
ever
controls would
revive
work.
that series.
I hope. I love Pikmin.
I do, too. The second one sold really terribly for a first-party Nintendo game, which makes me nervous that they may never make another one, but...
Yeah, well, obviously their teams have to be working on something because they've been talking about how like all of these different projects have been on, like 10 or 20 man teams. So what is everybody else working on? Let's get something new out here, you know?
But they don't have. I mean, they've pretty much ripped through their IPs at this point.
Right.
I mean, Wario's already on the way. He was one of the stragglers left out there. Pikmin was one of the stragglers left out there. Unless they want to really start reviving one of their old franchises like a Kid Icarus or an Ice Climbers or whatever. I mean, they pretty much went through their bona fide, this is going to sell at least 2 million copies franchises at this point. So
In one of Sakurai's blogs for Smash Brothers, like he made this comment, you know, like over all of these years, you know, there are all these great games, and then in the past, you know, 5 or 8 years, like Pikmin is the new franchise. So it's definitely time for something new and not just a sequel.
I think you also got to, it's probably a pretty safe bet. They're going to show something that uses the Wii Balance Board. You know, there's millions of those out there, and people are like, okay, what am I going to do with this thing after I'm done with Wii Fit? So, to me, I think they'll probably show something, maybe 1080 snowboarding that uses it or something along those lines.
Link squat thrust training.
Well, the sumo wrestling, you could do that on the balance board.
Yeah.
Suppose.
I mean, I don't think it'd be Wario because they tell you not to jump on the balance board or whatever. But I just think that something with the balance board has got to be shown there. Next, we're going to let's talk about Microsoft next.
Because we like them the best.
No, because we want to save the best for last, which is the Sony PlayStation 3.
You should
You
say
mean the
that.
PSP?
Ting! No, seriously, let's talk about Microsoft.
Well, I can say some stuff about Gears, which I checked out recently.
You can say what the other game was that you checked out, right? You just can't talk about the game.
I can't talk too much about Banjo, but I did check that out too.
So Justin went to see Banjo and Gears of War 2 this week at Microsoft.
It's a Gears of Banjo event. No, it's pretty
Or
nice.
like, wouldn't it be Banjo, Kazooie, Gears and Bolts?
Banjo of
Oh,
War.
that's good.
I like Gears of Banjo. It's just
All right.
short and simple. Right.
How about
No,
Gears
I
of War
was thinking
2
they'd
and
show
that
some
other
kind of
game?
demo thing where Banjo flips Kazooie around and then Kazooie someone from the back. But they didn't go for that. strangely
Yeah.
enough. They did show off a new multiplayer mode called Wingman that I thought was actually a really cool idea.
How does that work?
Well, they've never had, Gears 1 didn't have straightforward deathmatch, so they were looking for something that, kind of has the chaos and it's you against everyone. But so it's teams of 2, like up to 5 teams of 2. It's you and your homie. You have to execute people. You can't shoot someone and kill them from a distance. You have to actually put yourself out there and go for the finishing move. You can still blow up their head with a sniper rifle or, certain weapons will do it, but it kind of has a cool team dynamic. Like with 2 people, you can kind of control a certain amount of space. You can do cover
Go
fire.
back
So
to back.
yeah, it works really well with the mechanics, and it ended up being like a really fun mode. I didn't think it'd be like so awesome, but I play it and I'm like, I'd actually kind of rather play this than 4-on-4 or 5-on-5.
I kind of hated it in the first Gears, the execution stuff, though. Because you get somebody down and some jackass would just come around the corner and finish him off and get your kill.
Yeah.
Well, that's true, and I guess that could happen here. So you have to kind of make sure you can put the guy down,
Well,
Or
there's
you
the
can-
crawling at a...
Oh yeah, the
Anything?
crawling. Yeah, they did throw a bunch of mechanics in there, or they kind of tweaked things. They tried to nerf the shotgun rolling that's super popular.
Mm-hmm.
So now when you take bullets, it slows down your momentum. So if you charge straight at a guy, like the shotgun roll won't work as well. But it's still definitely a viable tactic though, because it's still able to pull it off. If you get a well-timed roll, you can get right up in someone's face and then go for the chainsaw or a quick shotgun kill. But yeah, the crawling is really cool because when you're down and bleeding out, waiting for someone to revive you, you can move yourself. So you can get behind cover. People won't be able to finish you off by shooting them. You can crawl over to a teammate. Or if you stick a grenade to the environment, which is one of the new things, you can kind of crawl back to where you put the grenade and have it blow up in their face. So
Can you shoot guns while you're down?
you can't. You're pretty helpless, but you can at least move yourself, and it buys you some time for a teammate to come by and revive you.
Well, at least you can do something. I hated when I was the
Back in
last
the
person
game.
on my team.
Yeah, no,
and
it
I was
sucks
bleeding
if you're
out,
just
and the
sitting
guy
there.
couldn't find me to kill me.
Yeah.
So you're just sitting there like...
It's not
this
so
is
I just
bad.
hate that you can't do anything while you're bleeding out.
It's way better than just being stuck there, and you
Yeah,
feel like
sure.
you feel like, okay, if I can just get here, then one of my teammates can revive
get to me.
So it keeps hope alive or whatever.
Right.
And then someone comes up and like, yeah, just crawl for like 20 feet, and then they stomp your face. There's a trail of blood behind you.
Oh, is
Well, let's
there
move
blood
on. There's a lot of games to talk about for Microsoft.
It was
We're not going
cool,
to get
yeah.
to all of them if
Worth
we
getting psyched
spend
about.
so much time on one. So, what about some of the games that really were announced a long time ago we haven't heard from, like Alan Wake?
Well-
People see that game?
I like the old trailer, and what's that? That's Remedy. I mean, Microsoft said they weren't going to be canceling games; they're going to keep stuff going.
Yeah.
But
It's been a long time since we've seen anything from that game.
that's for sure.
I don't know. And then there's, they keep saying that they have all these cards up their sleeve, but But Microsoft, I mean, so you have your Gears 2, you have your Banjo, Gears, and Bolts.
Fable still looks cool, but I
Yeah.
mean, we've known about it forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tend to save all the stuff that nobody would care about until E3.
But I mean, what else? I mean, we have all the big third-party stuff from Microsoft. Well, not from Microsoft, but coming to the 360. Pretty much every big third-party game comes to that
well,
platform.
like Mercs too, I guess.
Rock Band 2 is coming out exclusively for the 360, at least on a timed exclusive. So they'll have that exclusive for a little bit. But, I mean, when you think about what's coming with the new Guitar Hero, does Rock Band suddenly become irrelevant?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Guitar Hero looks great. All master track recordings, at least 85 songs right off the bat. You can trade songs that you made with people. They're going to be really small.
Well, see, that's the most important part right there, is that you can make your own songs, write your own songs.
And there's levels of detail. I mean, you can just goof around and do something easier. You can really drill down in there and get a little more, like, fudge around with stuff, really make your own stuff. And no vocals, but come on, you have to draw the line somewhere.
Oh, wait, you can't put vocals in the songs you create?
No.
What?
You can
Yeah.
sing vocals over the song.
You can sing along with it, though, right?
Yeah.
But when you upload them to other people, the vocals
Right,
won't
because
be
the files
there.
are going to be like 1K. They're going to be super small.
That kind of sucks, though.
They said like so much legal stuff
Yeah.
around that.
Like what?
They didn't go into detail.
I mean, I can go on SingStar on my PS3 and pull out my Wang or whatever and post it up. Someone will see it and then flag it. Why couldn't you do the same thing with a song that you...
Why can't I post my Wang in Rock Band 2?
But yeah, Rock Band, I mean, granted, that's a great first step, no doubt about it. I mean, just being able to write your own songs at all is awesome. I mean, Rock Band doesn't have that ability at all. I mean, from what I could tell from Rock Band 2, what are you getting? You're getting...
I heard there's still some surprises.
Online world tour?
Yeah, and they're having the accelerometers and the drums.
Yeah, they fixed the sign-in. That's
velocity,
one of the big...
whatchamacallits, but...
The guitar looks really nice. Saw a picture of that the other day.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
wood finish.
Is it all like wood finish? The whole body of it wood finish?
Yeah, well, it's still paint. But
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
Kind of looks like a Les Paul Sunburst.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's got to be better than the one they put out for the first Rock Band. Mine finally broke. I'm like, my whammy bar is just laying there like all limp. It just doesn't work at all anymore. And I'm out of the 60-day warranty period or whatever. So I guess now I got to go spend $40 on a friggin' guitar that'll probably break just as fast as the first one did. But yeah, I mean, so you have the time exclusive with Rock Band 2 that's kind of irrelevant, with Guitar Hero looking like it's going to totally take over this year. And what else do they have? I mean, there's Mirror's Edge. It should be hot, but that's coming out on the PS3 as well.
Yeah.
And PC.
Yeah. I mean, in a lot of ways, maybe Microsoft hasn't shown much of its hand either. But beyond that, it's like the first party stuff. I mean, I guess I got to hope that a lot of people take a leap of faith with Fable 2 after the first Fable and just trust Molyneux again. Which is hard to do after how he burned people last time. But
But do you think Sony, like if I can shift to Sony, do you think they have a stronger first party lineup?
yeah, definitely.
By a lot though? I mean, Resistance
not by a
Resistance
lot.
looks cool. I mean, Killzone doesn't look bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not awe-inspiring anymore.
I think the problem with I think it still looks amazing. I think the problem with Killzone is just very kind of a generic shooter. You know,
Yeah, it's not really...
It doesn't have a
needed.
hook.
Yeah, no one really asked for like, oh, can I have a shooter that does this? They're like,
Well, I
We
like
shoot bad
how
guys.
I think their big hook that they think they have is the destructible cover, obviously. But I mean, a lot of games are doing that now. So you give people destructible cover, but you don't really include a cover system to make use of it. I think that's maybe a little bit of a contradiction there. It's like, okay, we gave you destructible cover, but we don't give you a system to utilize it.
just
You
duck.
should just duck and pray, pretty much. And so his hook is pretty much his visuals. Physics, I guess, is a part of it, but it just doesn't have that gameplay.
But those are like standard now for games. I mean, Born Conspiracy had
A cover
destructible
system.
cover system and destructible cover,
Mm-hmm.
and everything has physics. I mean, 2D games have physics.
Well, maybe it was the case where when they first showed that game, it was all about the graphics, because it was that huge argument
That's-
over whether is this what the game really looks like and this is what or not. So when they finally get to the point where they're building the game, they're like, well, we should probably devote a lot of time to making sure this game looks good. So it does worry me that it's coming out early next year, because that pretty much means that they've relegated themselves to not doing anything mind-blowing with the gameplay.
I'm definitely more excited about Resistance 2 with the, the huge number of people they're putting online, and there's
And the
the
co-op
8-player
mode is going to
campaign.
be
Yeah.
supposedly separately. It's not
Yeah,
just a
separate
single player; it's
campaign.
a separate thing. That's awesome.
8 people, yeah.
Oh, it's
So
gonna be
that's-
dope. I mean,
that's
I'm
pretty impressive
totally
numbers-wise.
stoked for Resistance, man. I liked the first one. I didn't play multiplayer that much online. This time, I probably will play that game through the whole holiday season, which is I'm pretty excited about. And then you have Sucker Punch's new game.
Infamous?
Yep.
Yeah. You got to see more of it. I mean, the trailers and the magazine article. You got to see it being played.
But I trust Sucker Punch's pedigree as well.
Yeah, I mean,
they've made
Sly
a lot
Cooper
of
games
good
are good.
Yeah.
What was the N64 game?
Rocket Robot on Wheels.
That's a pretty good game.
It was freaking brilliant. I loved it.
That was a great game.
There's some physics for you.
Yeah. Exactly. And that was on the N64. And then obviously Naughty Dog's got to be working on something. Even if they reuse the engine for Uncharted, that game's going to look friggin' amazing. Metal Gear has its moments, but to me, it still can't touch Uncharted on the technical level.
Explosions are better, right?
What? Oh yeah, that's true. The explosions are better in Metal Gear Solid 4. I will give it that. But everything else, like to me, Uncharted pretty much blows it away. Okay, and I guess the really big X factor for Sony is God of War 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the God of War series. I think I'd even be cool with this game if it was just a carbon copy of the first two games with a new story or something like that. Like, I enjoyed them that much.
HD graphics?
Right, obviously.
HD titties?
Obviously. I think that's a big fear that I have about the game, though. I mean, since Barlog is gone and Jaffe is gone, neither one of those guys are working on the game anymore.
Yeah, but weren't people worried about God of War 2 with Jaffe being kind of hands-off with it, and then ended up being...
Well, no, I mean, if you talk to Jaffe about it, he even admitted that on the first game, Cory Barlog did a whole hell of a lot on the game. And then Cory did all of God of War 2, which was better than God of War 1.
Of course.
But he's gone. Now, it's who's going to lead that team?
But the PSP game was pretty good. And
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Ready at Dawn did a great job, and they weren't really connected with anybody on the team.
Like you said, even if it was a carbon copy, there's an excellent formula there. I mean, there's so much to work with.
They have not wrung that rag dry yet.
Not at all.
Yeah. So, I think that's probably the game I'm most excited to see at E3 from Sony, definitely.
And I think, too, there's a possibility that, because there's somebody new taking the lead, then they're going to have different ideas that they prefer and other feedback from the team that they want to pursue that the other guys wouldn't.
Which could be good. Or it could be bad.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean...
Could be just so-so. I'm hoping it'll be good, though.
Well, you got to think, if Cory and David were like, no, dude, you're insane, there's probably a good reason why they were saying you're insane, and that stuff never made it into the game. So now the two, I don't know, guess the cops of that franchise have vacated the premises, and now it's kind of a free-for-all. I don't know. We'll have to see. I have a pretty good feeling they're at least going to show a teaser from the game at the show.
It's going to be a giant 3.
Everyone's going to go, yeah! With Kratos screaming, yeah. I'll take it. At least you know that it's not more than a year away at that point, right?
Hey, they already said coming soon, so.
Yeah. Well, they also showed The Getaway 2 years ago. And 8 Days 2 years ago.
Moment of silence.
However, I predict that God of War 3 will, in fact, be released.
Yeah. There's no way it won't.
Okay, so now that we've talked about all the big three, let's just go around the room here and let's get your guys' most anticipated game from the upcoming show. Ryan, what can you not wait to see?
There's some stuff I've got. I've seen a lot of stuff, but I think novelty is still important, so I really am excited to get my hands on Mirror's Edge.
Yeah.
Because that trailer's great. They say it's gameplay, and I just want to believe. I want to believe that they can pull this off and it's actually going to feel fun. It's going to feel organic, and I'm not going to get like motion sickness. And it's not going to just be, run from like point A to point B. I want to see how they're going to actually expand this and make this into a full game. And, DICE has a really good track record.
Well, not necessarily with games of this type, but
in general, I mean, they Battlefield Bad Company, they kind of took it's still a first-person shooter, but it wasn't this, massive, Battlefield. It was more like a typical console first-person shooter. And they did
the multiplayer is still like the old Battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that was the stronger component, but
I think that's my one concern is that DICE is very good at creating first-person shooters, but they haven't really proven their mettle yet with any other genre.
But, people are allowed to branch out.
That's great. I have no problem with it at all, and I'm as excited as you are to check it out and see how they do. Bloodworth, what can you not wait to see?
Resident Evil 5.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Why is that? I would have no idea why you say that.
Well, I wasn't at the Captivate event, so I didn't get to see all the awesome stuff that everyone talked about, so it'd be good to see that firsthand. Plus, at the event, they said that they're holding back a few really big surprises for E3. So it'll be good to see what they do to make this the next step above Resident Evil 4.
Okay. What about you, Morales?
Normally, I would be inclined to say Diablo 3, but I am actually looking forward to Fallout 3 a lot now.
Yeah.
I think Bethesda's being really smart about limiting the amount of info that gets out there. And, the more like tidbits you hear, the more you want to know about it. And there's still a huge veil of secrecy surrounding the game.
Yeah, nobody knows squat, pretty much.
I mean, but just based on observation, they're really, pumping up, the graphics, the whole scale of the game, the scope, and it's looking really good. And it's been a while since we've played, really good adventure RPG game.
I agree.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. What about you there, Duke of Nottingham?
Is that it? I don't
Today
know.
it
I
is.
think
Sure.
I think you missed
Today's
You
Duke.
my
updated to
title.
Duke. You're royalty now.
Wow, I'm just keep climbing. I'll be king eventually. I guess I'd say Mad World. I mean,
Yeah?
I'm a big fan of Platinum Games. I'm a big fan of the other stuff that these guys have been involved with. I am one of the people that did like God Hand. Of course, it's, I'm not sure the guy's name that's behind it all. I don't remember his name. If he makes a really great game, I'll remember his
Mikami
name.
made God Hand.
Yeah, Mikami made God Hand, but, Mad World, it's a new guy. It's, it has kind of the black and white art style. People might say it's a little gimmicky. We haven't seen much of it. I'm just hoping that there's a real game behind it.
It looks like a Suda game. is
It'll
what it
work
looks
good on the Wii, and if that happens, then I'll be pretty happy.
And for me, man, it's tough. It's like you go to so many events that it kind of quells your enthusiasm or excitement to see something. So I guess for me, it's like I'm most excited about whatever game it is that I have not heard of. Whether that's Naughty Dog's next game, as long as it's not
I'm
Uncharted.
changing my answer to Shane's answer.
Me too.
Nobody said you had to pick a game. There's just so much unknown. It's like we don't know anything about what Nintendo's been doing for the last year of development. What is the Zelda team doing? I can't wait to find that out.
Unless it's Wii Fit 2.
Yeah, that would really suck. I'd be really pissed off about that.
I think they're going to combine Wii Fit and Brain Age to where you do both at the same time. It's a complete human being improvement experience.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm most excited for, is that really for all three, like we really don't know anything about 09 from a first party perspective. So I just can't wait to see what the Zelda team's up to. I can't wait to see what Naughty Dog is doing next. I can't wait to see what Bungie's going to do besides Halo. I mean, maybe we get a glimpse at that this year at the show. So for me, I have no fear of the unknown at this show. I embrace it with both arms, and hopefully we won't be disappointed.
And where can people find out more about E3, Shane?
People can find out more about E3 at GameTrailers.com. In fact, we just want to take this second to talk to you guys a little bit about the coverage we're going to have. As you guys have grown to expect from us, 24 hours around-the-clock coverage. We'll be posting literally at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, whatever. It's a grind, and all these guys are looking at me right now like they want to kill me. But it's how we do things. We don't quit. A lot of our competitors go to sleep at night. You guys know that you can count on us to deliver pretty much every piece of video from that show pretty much before everybody else. So that's our promise to you guys. We are going to get no sleep that week, and we're going to love every freaking minute of it. I don't care about all your faces. It's
a happy face.
This is our Super Bowl, and we treat it as such. We will go until we drop, and hopefully you guys will appreciate it, and you guys will like the coverage that we do. And that's it for this week's Invisible Walls. We'll see you in 2 weeks after E3, so we can sort through the aftermath. Until then, enjoy the show. Later.